Yo, another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth.
Yeah.
Your host, Zacchaeus and the Fifth General. Zacchaeus, what up?
Hey, yo. Good to be here.
All right. Tell us what we're talking about today, man.
Yeah, man. Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Got some news out there, man. Go out to the people that lost their lives in Haiti. Haiti just had an earthquake last Saturday.
Yeah,
7.2 meter earthquake last Saturday. 1,700 people lost their lives, and I think it's growing too, you know?
How similar is this one to the one
I think it's growing.
How similar is this earthquake to the one they had over 10 years ago?
Well, 10 years ago was an 8 point something. This one is a 2 point. It was just as devastating because that one was more, the last one was more death, more. But I don't know about this. This one is, the death toll has grown on this one too. But that one was devastating, man. 8 point. I mean, it was, that earthquake was devastating, man. It just killed a lot of people. They even named a place. They had a place in Haiti called, when I went there in 2017 as a missionary, called Titayan. Now a lot of Haitians don't know about Titayan. Some do, but some don't. In Haiti, that's called it's considered a no man's land in Haiti. That's considered a no man's land in Haiti, meaning that that's where when the death toll went up, they were running out of places to bury people, so they buried them right there in Titayan, and that's where the mission field was, Mission of Hope. You know, Titayan. That's where they buried the people that lost their lives in Haiti. You know, but it's sad, man, that during this pandemic and during the loss of the president, Moise Juvenet, and now the earthquake, it's just one devastation after the next is overwhelming for my people in Haiti, you know? So sad, man. So sad, man. Oh, man, it's just, sometimes, it's so sad. Just the condolences to all those who lost to families who lost loved ones in Haiti, you know? Yeah, man, it's sad. Terrible, man. It made world news. It made world news, you know? So so we can just keep them in prayer, man, and hope that everything, you know, it's just tough times, man. I mean, my gosh. Just when you think you have it bad, man, the people that have it more worse than you, ladies and gentlemen, just when you think you got it bad, there's people that have it more worse than you, you know? You never know. And I just see how people live in Haiti, and I see how people strive to survive, and now there's not a devastation, and there's this earthquake. Destroyed homes, it just took lives. People, young children, people, older senior citizens, everyone buried under the rubble. Sorry, it's just sad, man, to hear this, man, you know? So, yeah, you know, and it's so sad, man. Man, oh, man, so sad. Yeah, man. Oh, you know, so it's just, I just had to shine light on Haiti because Haiti go through so much disappointment, so much grief, so much sadness. You know, so prayers out for those and for families who have family in Haiti. Prayers for those who lost their lives. Pray for those who lost loved ones, you know? For real, man. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Jay. Yo, we gotta get into talk a little bit about this pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
How many lives it's changed and how many people life has changed, and all around the globe it's changed a lot of, especially in New York City. It changed convenience because I know in New York City they're trying to if you're not vaccinated, you cannot enter a gym, no restaurants, no movie theaters, um, no gyms to work out in, um, and certain accesses, certain privileges you can have when you're vaccinated. So, but and no, it's just it's almost like to say you ain't gonna have a life when you're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
You gotta stay home and yeah, yeah. Only and it's like, man, they just made it. When you're working on your job now, they're making it where the health workers, the health employees, some of them are not vaccinated. If they don't get vaccinated, they're gonna face disciplinary action.
Healthcare workers.
Healthcare workers.
Those are healthcare workers would be
Now, I heard what
people
happened.
working doctors and hospitals, doctors' offices and hospitals and stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, healthcare workers, man. Also, I heard what happened in Houston. Yeah,
Say that again. The audio cut out.
yeah,
Zacchaeus, say that again. The audio cut out.
yeah, yeah. It did. Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Okay, I think we're having technical difficulties here, but anyway, I'll finish his thought. So what's going on in city to city typically starts that way, and then it goes state to state, and then it goes federal. So what's going on in New York City right now is that you have to show documentation that you've taken the test. I'm sorry, that you've taken the vaccine. So you gotta have your vaccine cards, and any vaccine that you take, whether it's Moderna, Pfizer, or what's the other one, Johnson & Johnson, whatever, you have to show proof of that documentation. And what I had also read is that, when it comes to certain places of businesses, if you go up in these certain places of businesses and they say if you have a fake vaccination card, that it could be punishable to years in prison. Now, I'm not sure if that was officially passed, but that's an article that had been floating around. That's an article that had been floating around. Some other cities and states are a little more lenient when it comes to mask orders. There's a lot of focus on Florida as far as the Delta variant, because they're trying to say that the Delta variant has seemed to congregate in Florida more than any other state that they could find data on so far. But this is the kind of thing that happened last time when the whole, pandemic popped off. It was, it's in this place, or it's in that place. Then it started stretching out to the little small cities and towns. The other small cities and towns are not as well traveled. They're not in the same high demand as major cities like New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, stuff like that. And in my city, the city that I'm currently in, Houston. So these are high travel spots within the nation. And a lot of people have flew out of the country and came in. But like I said on a couple shows ago, that I felt like it was already on the soil before they said it was where they said it came from overseas. But that's just my thinking. But we're not going to focus on where it came from, because that's redundant. But we're just going to focus on the situation that has put people in, and that is get vaccinated or else.
Yeah.
A lot of places of employment are doing that. A lot of countries that have opened back up to certain countries, because there's still no flies list for certain places. they want proof of vaccination. Before it was they need proof of a test if you coming up negative. But now they need vaccination proof. And we all know that vaccines doesn't mean that it's a cure, because you got people who are still getting sick with the virus, and then they've been vaccinated. So, me personally, it should be a choice thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it should be mandated, but I feel like that's what they're slowly moving on to. Now, Zacchaeus, you were relating this to something, and I want you to now touch upon that for the subject so that it can give people better perspective of why you wanted to talk about this tonight. Yeah. All right, we're back. We experiencing some technical difficulties with Zacchaeus' audio, but we're good. I was asking Zacchaeus before we had a audio interruption to get to the point to why he wanted to talk about this subject and how it affects the rest of the world going forward as far as getting vaccinated or else. So Zacchaeus, expand on that.
Yeah, so we got to be very careful. You got to actually find out or Google where can you travel to, because it's very restrictive as far as traveling. And as far as destinations where you're traveling to, you got to be mindful of where you're traveling. You know, and there's a lot of countries that no vaccination, no entry. So, what I have is there's a lot of countries like Georgia, Croatia, no entry. You must be vaccinated. Iceland, Italy, Greece, France, Turkey, Thailand, Egypt, Ghana, Tanzania, Seychelles, St. Bart's, the Caribbean island, Bahamas, Costa Rica, Belize, Ecuador, and Guatemala. The reason why I'm naming those countries, because those are the countries that you have to be vaccinated in order for you to enter the country. Those countries. Now,
yeah, there's more, but we won't name them all. It's just only to get to the point.
Get to the point, yes.
Of what
so
we're talking about, but there's more countries other than that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they're making it very inconvenient for you to travel certain places because you must be vaccinated. And now it almost seems to me like you can't even. They pushed it. They're pushing the vaccinations like almost like like the last days, like the Book of Revelation, where it talks about you can't sell or buy things unless you have the mark. But those who read the Bible, this is not the mark. It's just that the way how they're pushing it. Mm-hmm. It seems
it's very
like
similar.
that.
Yeah.
It seems like that. The way how they're pushing it, it seems like that.
Right.
No.
This is not the mark, but like you said, it's taking a page out of the old book because it's very similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, but we ain't there yet, but it's definitely a nice little test run.
Yes, it is.
I guess it's to see how far
and it's going to be a lot of... Yeah.
Because if people will easily accept this, then when the mark actually comes, they'd be like, hey, well, you accepted the first phase. Why not accept this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
It's almost like they're trying to get brains ready.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, read that script, that book, Revelation 13 verses 16 and 17, where it talks about the mark. So you can't buy or sell things unless you take the mark.
Right. So let's get deep. Let's get a little deeper into why you're saying what you're saying about this. The vaccine is not even FDA approved, and even if it was, I still believe it should be a choice thing like the flu. There are no mandatory vaccinations for the flu. Never have, never will. At least to my understanding. But I don't recall so many jobs saying, oh, you better get the flu vaccine before you show up at work. That's not what's happening.
Right.
And apparently a lot of people are saying, well, it's not the same. Well, when the Spanish flu did some damage, you know what I'm saying? At times where I wasn't born, but they didn't have that same attitude about, take it or else. You know what I'm saying? Did they encourage it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right.
it wasn't no take it or else thing. We're seeing a take it or else situation. That's what we're seeing, because they know a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really trust the government when it comes to putting a shot in your body. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been out yet. They didn't test it on animals. Not that I'm advocating for that, but
right.
Other things they test on animals or whatever, they didn't test this on animals. They was like, all right, here you go. And secondly, if you get sick or worse, death,
right?
Because it's not FDA approved.
Yeah, no. And the thing is this,
Pfizer,
man.
You can't sue Moderna. You can't sue Johnson & Johnson.
People are getting penalized. Look at the health workers in Houston. They had some nurses in Houston that got fired because they refused to they didn't take the vaccine. So they suspended them. Suspension leading up to being fired. And that was in Houston. Mm-hmm. Now, according to the news, even here in New York too, if they're giving nurses a time to take it. If they don't take it, they're gonna be penalized, disciplinary actions. So it's like a bully thing, Yeah. It's like a bully thing that they force you to take it. In order for you to live life, you got to take that thing. Well, it should be a choice. It should never be well, you have to. But according to some believe that yes, people are dying. People are dying, yes, but also when you take the vaccine, people are getting is not exempt from COVID, even when you take the vaccine. They say you have better protection, but it's not 100% proof. They say they're going to get it FDA approved. When it's FDA approved, it's going to be more mandation to take it. So, we got to be mindful. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in the last days, and we got to be mindful. We got to be mindful. You got to watch and pray, and you can't just be like a sheep, follow everything. You must do your research, and you must be careful and mindful of what you put into your body community. Yeah. So, they say take it. It will help protect you. But, we got to just be just because you see Jimmy and Sophie jumping on the bandwagon doesn't mean you have to jump too. But, according to our jobs, if you work at a regular 9 to 5, or if you have a job, you're gonna be forced. Even if you didn't take it, you would be forced. Oh yes, it's happening right now. Yeah, and now they mandate the mask again. So, mandation of the mask again is in full effect today. I believe September 13th, or today it will be. You must wear a mask. Yeah, it's a whole protection. Yeah, man. So we just got to be mindful of these things. ladies and gentlemen, you gotta be mindful of these things. Yeah, man. It's just you must do your research, which I do, and some of us have federal jobs, some of us have city jobs, employment, and it's a either you take it or you be on or the unemployment line, or the unemployment line, So,
right, and they stopped and they canceled the extensions for unemployment, so it's not something that you could have for a particular amount of time anyway.
Yeah.
And everything is tied to what they're trying to implement. So
yeah.
There might be another shutdown again. It's possible. Just look at the numbers. But some things are different from state to state because you're talking about New York City or New York State. But I'm in Texas, and things are a little more lenient here. You don't have to wear a mask in certain places. You don't have to at all. You don't have to show proof of anything, that you took a test, that you took the vaccine. You don't have to do that here. But in New York you do, or any other states that we don't know about, you probably had to. So things are different now, but there hasn't been any federalized mandates yet,
Yeah, they say that Texas and Houston Texas and Florida have the highest COVID cases.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Because those were the first two states that lifted mask orders. Or at least one, at least few of the two. Two of the few that were first. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But when it comes to New York City, the population is more dense because everybody is on top of each other.
Oh, yes.
So when you have 9 million plus people residential living in the city and about a good 14 million, 16 million who commuting in and out of the city for employment and any other thing, I mean, it's no surprise that, stuff can congregate very easily.
Oh, yes.
In a city like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes,
so
it could get very people on top of people those that don't know. Yeah, New York City is a place where it was a crowd is a crowd, a heavy crowd. Yeah. Got no space to breathe, man.
Well, you got the public transportation is like basically the number one way to get around the city if you don't have a car. Other cities are not like that because they don't have public transit on the same level that New York City does. So that's another difference there. Where I live, people got in their cars. Ain't a whole bunch of trains. I mean, there's buses, but we don't have like a train system that is so big in Houston to the point where people are looking at that as their main source of travel. But in New York City, people look to public transportation as their main source of travel because of how convenient it is. There's bus stops on every corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the subway systems runs mainly through the four boroughs because they're more connected. But Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens, Staten Island is not set up in that same way with subway trains, so it's different. But buses everywhere. Bus stops on every corner on all five boroughs. Manhattan being very walkable, so there's a lot of people walking. You're outside. People see like, hey, well, you're outside, so it's different. Well, okay, yeah, all right. But the thing is, when you're on a train, everybody's on a train, packed. People all up on top of each other.
Oh, yes. The subway stations, yes.
So they were saying like the subway and the buses was like the worst way to carry COVID, the pandemic. I'm trying to keep away from saying C-19 because of the algorithm, but with the virus, these are the forms of transportation that they said, that could easily spin around. When it comes to Staten Island, you got the ferry going from Staten Island into Manhattan, back into Staten Island. You know, a lot of people on the boat, so you got that too. Water taxis from Jersey, into the city, Manhattan. You know what I mean? So,
right.
You got a lot of that going on. The city's just too big, man. You got, big cities go through a lot when it comes to this. Like this virus is terrible for a big city, especially New York.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Terrible for cities like Tokyo, Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong, LA,
Sydney, Australia, England,
London, UK. Just to name a few cities outside of the different countries. It's not good. But it's all gonna boil down to this: or people are gonna take the vaccine to keep their job. That's what it's getting down to. We could talk about all this. Oh man, see the government listening, man. See my phone. Gonna wake his head up. I ain't asking to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother show. But look, like I said before, that's what it's going to boil down to. How do you think people? Here's what. Let's make it more interesting. How do you think people are going to take it when they said you got to take this or else? Well, do you think more people will take the vaccine, or will they take their own route and just say, "All right, well, fire me, and I'll look at some other methods of employment"? I mean, how do you think people are going to do that?
It's happening now. A lot of people don't want to. You see, this pandemic awakened a lot of things. A lot of people realize that they want to spend more time at home. Yeah. They want to see their family more.
Right.
A lot of people realize that going to physical work is just not. It's not in every way. It's old school. It's not feasible. It's not. There's more and more. Online jobs are booming now. And people are realizing that the convenience of your home is very important. To control your own hours is very important. Right now, if you go on online jobs is the wave of the future now. It's booming. People want to control their own hours. People are getting tired of. Not so much people want to go to work. So to answer that question, I think people are gearing more towards, no, I'm not going to take the pandemic. I'm not going to take the vaccine, and I'm going to probably work from home. I'd rather be home because let's face it, this pandemic let a lot of people stay home, and a lot of people was working from home. And they like it. It's just the people are getting more smart because remember, you're thinking about it now, but money. Who likes sitting in an hour traffic, going to work and coming from work? The commute. People getting tired of commute, sitting in traffic. The commute is too much. Spending money. Some people got to spend money on traveling. Like with metro, public transportation, traveling, it gets tiring after a while. So more and more people, technology is advanced to the utmost. So more and more people are finding ways to work out from home and make money and make good money working from home. Right now, affiliate marketing is the wave of the future. When I mean affiliate marketing, meaning that like jobs like there's something called Amazon, Walmart, to name a few, ClickBank, just to name a few. There's people that are finding ways to they want a residual income, meaning that different streams of income, especially during this pandemic, is serious. A lot of this year alone, last year, a lot of businesses folded, closed. Physical jobs closed. Physical jobs shut down because they're not making no money because everybody's afraid because they're afraid to go to their business because they're afraid of the pandemic. So a lot of jobs, small businesses suffered because of that. And more people look right now. Those who are listening on there, jobs are giving away money for you to work. Physical jobs are giving away money. So they're giving you bonuses when they hire you. So it's like people don't want to work. They're getting tired of physical work. So it's more of it's a new age now, and people are. It certainly did open. It's an eye opener to what's really going on. A lot of people are leaving their jobs. A lot of people want to retire early. You'll find very few people you find work at their jobs 30 years. Very, very few. Very few. And the numbers are slowly getting smaller and smaller and smaller. People are leaving their jobs for convenience.
So
for more money.
Let me cut in
for more money.
Real quick.
Yeah.
That's actually I actually disagree with some of that. Most jobs are not work from home because we have a lot of the food and the consumer business still needs people in person because deliveries were not enough. So a lot of these jobs lost money because they didn't have the in-person activity. So it's economically damning to the world if every job is work from home. So you still need people to take to get the trash. You need people to do security. You need several things that makes this world function to still take place. So
like policing and nursing. Those are essential jobs that people need to physically be there. Policing,
right? All essential jobs will continue to be essential. In-person type of jobs that will always happen. Some things that are phone based and network based, those don't typically need an office. But
those jobs don't typically need an office. Any marketing jobs, you don't need to physically be there. So it's becoming the phenomenon now. So you're right about the essential jobs. You cannot work. I can't be a police officer and work from home. You know what I'm saying? You can't be work for sanitation and work from home. You can't be a nurse and work from home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You can't be. Right. There are several things you can't do, but most jobs are in person. You still have a lot of the retail businesses in person. You still need things in person. You know what I'm saying? So, consumership actually helps this economy. Without consumership, this economy, it would be even worse if you didn't have that spending. Everybody knows that a community and a nation or a neighborhood is better when people are consuming because that drives up the demand, which in turn produces more of the supply. So,
do you agree that money is being spent more online than in person?
I don't have any data or statistics, but I will say that it's definitely an important factor in the consumer business that people are shopping online. But there are still things that you do have to see in person. Shopping for clothes online is difficult. You got to know how it fits on your body. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want online to be the only option for shopping. For consumer shopping.
Some people buy their groceries online.
Yeah, I can't do that. Because when you go into a store, especially when you're buying produce and meat and stuff like that, you want to see that, do you?
Some people do, but some people love the convenience.
Right. But do you want to see it? Let's not say what everybody else says. Do you want to see it? Do you want to go into a store and pick out your piece of fish or chicken? You want to see that in person, right?
I always see that in person because you see, the thing is, I'm not used to the online buying fish and buying meat on, buying, I'm used to going to the groceries, physically going to the grocery supermarket and buying my things, marketplace and buying my things. But I seen people order a whole groceries online, They said, listen, the pandemic is here. Why go in person is dangerous. Said it's dangerous to go in person for anything now. Mm-hmm. The pandemic is taking over our world. Can't you see it? You have to do everything online. So yes, I buy my soaps online. Yes, I buy my produce online, my poultry online. Why? Because we're living in some serious pandemic times. So why? So it's growing. So why go physically? He's saying, why go physically to these things that you are giving yourself some huge, enormous risk when you go physically to certain places. And let's say you touch a door, boom, somebody sneezes on the door, boom, you put your hand in it, boom, and now you got COVID. So it's like more people are doing things online. There's more it's more of a convenience for people to do things online in 2021, 2022, and 2023. So now it's like, listen, there's people that are afraid. They're living in fear. And I always tell them, God don't give you a spirit of fear, but he give you a sound mind. But them people are living literally in fear. They don't want to go too many places, especially where there's crowds. The pandemic has changed a lot of things, not too much people want to do so much gathering crowds or going to, but... not even at the office. Some officers don't believe in the vaccine. Not even them. They like careful of. They have to wear a mandate mask and cannot do crowds. And oh yeah, Jay, I want to say this real quickly. Big up in New York City. Big up the Harlem Week. This week was Harlem Week. I used to go to Harlem Week back in the days before the pandemic. I used to enjoy Harlem Week in New York City. And now we kind of worry about gathering in crowds now because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But
well, let me say this. That's quite the contrary for young people. So you're speaking as someone who's in their 40s, right?
Okay.
No. I'm gonna get to what I'm saying. What we're talking about is still quite the contrary for young people, because a lot of young people couldn't wait to get outside again. We got a lot of music festivals going on again. Are you aware of that?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
they're coming. They're opening up again.
Right.
For music festival.
And a lot of these places are full capacity again. We just got done watching the Locks and Dipset battle. How many people was in that crowd? You probably can't give a number, but didn't that crowd look packed?
It looked like in the thousands.
Okay, so that's my point about how what we may think is not what we see. So we're seeing actually a lot of people still doing things in crowds. You know, now, right now, currently of this year. Last year, there were no events. So that's why you didn't see nobody. But I guarantee you, if they didn't shut things down, people would still be out there. People didn't. Let's just be real. People didn't. A lot of people didn't just stay home because they were scared. A lot of people stayed home because that was the option. Movie theaters got Movie theaters got closed. Concert halls, arenas, everything, sports stopped. There were no crowds because they wasn't allowed to. But if they would have been allowed to, they would have been all up in there. So that's why I said that's quite the contrary for young people. When I mean young people, I mean teenagers, teenagers, and people in their 20s. Now, I use wisdom.
Well, people get scared of those people because they feel that, yeah.
I mean, I use wisdom, so I'm not out there. But research tells me otherwise. Research tells me that a lot of the youth, they're out there. They're out there packed on the beaches. They're out there doing anything that they can do because their attitude is, yo, man, I'm going to live my life, and if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I mean, we saw people on TV getting interviewed saying that same exact thing. You know, restaurants crowded. People just love to be out again. They don't want to be. People got tired of being in the house.
Well, I know a guy that wants to do a music video with me. You know what he told me? He's 56 years old. He said, "You don't need to do a music video right now. But what are you doing? There's a pandemic going on. Why are you doing music videos during the pandemic? You gotta wait a few years to do something like this. I'm sorry. You're gonna get us sick."
Wow.
I'm like, wait a minute. So my life stops because of you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you prefer.
My life stops because of certain things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah.
But if he was 26, he'd probably tell you something different because he wants to make his money. A lot of people haven't made money because a lot of people are trying to make up for the money that they lost. Okay?
Yeah. They're trying to do it.
Think about it.
And they don't know how to do it because they're.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much to say on the topic anymore. Zacchaeus,
Are you gonna get it to?
Nah, go ahead, Zacchaeus. Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you saying?
Well, I want to say. Yeah, I want to say that that during this time I was about to ask you, would you get into selling anything online or anything just to make any money? But we never know. Some people say that's the way how they can make some extra money is to do something online where they can make money, you know. But my thing is this, man. I mean,
it depends on what product you have because you still have to market your product,
right?
So you can't just come out with something and not market it and promote
of course.
So
of course,
it all depends on what it is. And secondly, you got to give people a reason. So let me just say this.
You still got to market it,
right? Let me just say this about people who are doing an online business. It's harder than you think. It's not as easy as they say it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to create an illusion that quit your job today and just work online. No, that's not everybody. But the thing is that if that's something you were already skilled at before the pandemic, then during the pandemic they've came up. That's what I'm saying. You've had people who had businesses that were they predominantly made most of their money from online, right, from the internet. When the pandemic hit, that just put more focus on them. And businesses that didn't really do, like for instance, restaurants, a great example.
Right.
There were a lot of restaurants that never did phone orders or online orders or deliveries. So people were doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all these other things, and they was relying on that to make at least a piece of the money that they were making when their restaurant was open. And a lot of those restaurants didn't do their usual numbers because they still counted on that in-person, the in-person business. So a lot of small businesses went out of business. A lot of them couldn't get the benefit of the PP loans and all that other stuff from the bailouts and all that. A lot of them didn't get that. So, you know, there's some horror stories with this too. So I don't want to leave that out because I know somebody's going to listen to this.
Horror stories?
Yes. There are businesses that are out of business. They haven't even come back. I'm riding around in my city, and I'm seeing businesses with their doors still closed because they had to file for bankruptcy. Do you know what's going on with 24-Hour Fitness? They may have to shut down for good.
No.
So there are a lot of businesses, small businesses that we don't know, and big businesses that have taken huge hits during the pandemic. So they're reliant. So
wow.
This is why they needed in person. You know what I mean? Because every business can't survive the same, man. You know what I mean? Amazon has always been online. Amazon is not Best Buy.
Right.
So Amazon has been an online business from the jump. And then also Amazon owns Whole Foods. So Amazon makes money off of Whole Foods. That's going to be in person. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so we got to take into account a lot of these businesses had money, way more money a long time ago. So they were able to kind of do okay during the pandemic. You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't really have much to say on the, oh God, that was feedback. I don't really have anything much to say about the topic. I don't want to start repeating myself. Anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, I just want to say, I want to say a real quick, once again, condolences to the families who lost loved ones in the Haitian earthquake.
Yeah.
And, that's it, man, Yeah.
Yeah, pray for Haiti. Watch out for scams. Every time natural disasters happen, there's always some scam saying, send money to this place and we'll give it to the people when they don't. So be very lenient.
And they don't. Yes.
Yeah. Because that happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All right, let them know where they can reach you, man.
Hey, you can reach me on Facebook, Wayne Zacchaeus Bacchus on Facebook. Also on Twitter, Wayne Bacchus 2, at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter. Also on Instagram, Zacchaeus B73 on Instagram. Yeah.
All right, y'all can holler at me or at the Fifth General on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right, this was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth signing off. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Signing off. Peace.